For today's video, I want to take a look at the Federation. What we're trying to do here is understand the world and the lore of Call of Duty better. We have looked into the history of the Shadow Company, the ULF, and Las Almas Cartel, and today we are covering the Federation. Now, for today's video in particular, we will go over their origins and their goals, and some things that may be lesser known about them, and we won't cover every single mission of the game because it would be a rehash of the story so far that I already made on Call of Duty Ghosts. With that being said, thank you for joining me, and let's begin. The Federation would be born sometime during the early 21st century, and it would come about after many conflicts in the Middle East, specifically the Tel Aviv War, which left the Middle East and its partners in a really bad spot, due to the oil industry taking a massive hit. This caused a global energy crisis. The nations that were the most impacted were the United States, Russia, China, and India. This would give opportunity for a new and more powerful nation to rise. South American countries would take advantage of this as they were now rich in oil. Brazil, Argentina, Venezuela, and Chile would officially unite and form the Federation on June 2nd, 2014. They would create a monopoly and look to become the most powerful nation in the world. The man to lead the Federation's ruthless military would be General Diego Almagro, who was anti-America and hated Americans. He would guide the Federation in taking over all South American countries and even take control of North America's Mexico. General Almagro would go on to execute any Americans inside of these countries at the time that he took over. This would anger the United States, and it would put a huge target on his back. And eventually in 2015, the Americans would send their Ghost unit to execute General Almagro. And although this mission would be successful, their Captain Rourke would be lost and picked up by the Federation soldiers. They would torture the American captain for months until they broke him, and they rewired him into hating the Ghost and taking down his own country. He would help plan and execute many more missions into the Caribbean and Central America, making the Federation grow even stronger and bigger. All this would lead to their biggest plan yet: to take over the United States' Odin system, which was the United States' main defense against attacks from the Federation or any other enemy.
Odin main, repeat contact.
Fire! 3 and 4. Houston, what do we do?
Odin control. We have no choice. We're scuttling the station. I'm sorry, Mosley.
Copy, Houston. Baker, we need to
Initiating in
move.
10 seconds. All crew, get to a secure area.
The plan would work, and the Federation would infiltrate the Odin space station and launch an attack on U.S. soil, causing an all-out war that would devastate many parts of the United States, and it would last over a decade. In 2027, the war would reach a stalemate, and the Federation would be preparing to launch their Loki system, which was reverse engineered from the US Odin system. And the goal for the Federation was to end the war by destroying the cities that remained inside the United States and kill off the remaining military that the US had. However, due to Rourke's relentless pursuit of the Ghost and basically his vendetta, the Federation would lose structure and leave themselves open for attacks. The Ghost would capitalize on this and destroy multiple oil rigs and labs that belonged to the Federation. They would eventually take over the Loki system, causing a massive regression in the Federation's status as they no longer had an upper hand on the United States. The Federation would take a big hit and retreat, and all that they had built for the past 2 decades seemed to be on the brink of destruction. The current goals of the Federation are unknown, as their military leader Rourke took one of the Ghost's best soldiers captive and began a process to torture him and brainwash him, the same way that he was in 2015. The Federation would also look to move forward and regain their status and power over the US, but they seemed visibly weaker. The tide had definitely turned on them. The Federation was a superpower or a threat that never really had a face for me. Yes, we see their General Almagro in 2015 for a split second before we kill him. And then we see Rourke basically take over, and he's now the big bad, but he couldn't be the face or the leader of the Federation for me, because I just wouldn't buy it. An American ex-Ghost soldier is the face of the Federation? No, I don't see it. And although he is a threat and a really big one, we never see who really runs the Federation. And it's one of the biggest mysteries for me, as I feel like the Federation wasn't as fleshed out as I would have liked for it to be. I really wanted to see more of their leaders, not an army general and not an American brainwashed soldier. If there is even a slither of hope for a Ghost 2, I really hope that we get to see actual leaders of the Federation and how they operate. But as of now, this has been the history of the Federation.